What's up, guys? This is Jack Zazinski here to brief you guys on problem 3 from the Chapter 9 problem set. So, obviously, in this question, it's asking on June 30th, 2017, A Inc. borrowed $25,000 from its bank, signing an 8% 2-year note. So, the first part of this problem, it's required. We're assuming that the bank charges simple interest on the note. Prepare the journal entry A will record on each of the following dates: December 31st, 2017, December 31st, 2018, and June 30th, 2019. So going down here to the answer portion, for this first part, we're using the simple interest formula, which is I equals P times R times T. So the interest expense for December 31st, 2017, you're going to be using $25,000, which is what we borrowed from the bank, times the 8% interest rate, times 0.5, which is half a year, because we were going from June 30th, 2017 to December 31st, 2017, so it's only 6 months. And that will get you an interest expense of $1,000. So in your journal entry, interest expense will go up $1,000, and then interest payable will go up $1,000. All right. And then for December 31st, 2018, once again, same formula, $25,000, which is the money borrowed from the bank, times our interest rate of 8%, times 1, because we are going now from December 31st, 2017 to December 31st, 2018, so it's a full year, so it equals 1. That's going to give us our interest expense of $2,000. So in the journal, interest expense will go up $2,000, interest payable will go up $2,000. On Part C, June 30th, 2019, same formula. Interest expense is $25,000, which is $25,000, which is the money we borrowed from the bank, times the 8% interest rate, times 0.5, because we're going from December 31st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019. It's only 6 months. And that gives us interest expense of $1,000 for June 30th, 2019. However, in the journal, the 2-year note is officially done, so we are paying off the entire loan. So cash is going to go down $29,000, and that is from the original bank loan of $25,000 plus our accumulated interest for these 2 years, which would be $3,000, plus our interest expense, which is $1,000, and that gets us $29,000 going down in our journal because we are officially paying off this loan. On to question 2, assume instead that the bank charges 8% on the note, which is compounded semi-annually. Identify and analyze the effects on the dates in Part 1. So, for Part 1, for compound interest, we're using, once again, the same equation, I equals P times R times T. So, interest expense for this case is going to be $25,000, the amount we borrowed originally, times 8% times 0.5, because going from June 30th to December 31st, we said before, is only 6 months, so it's half a year. It's going to give us our interest expense of $1,000. So in the journal, interest expense will go up $1,000, and interest payable will go up $1,000. For Part B, this is where things get a little bit different with compound interest. We must calculate the interest on both the principal and accumulated interest for compound interest. So, going from December 31st, 2017 to December 31st, 2018, our interest expense for those first 6 months is going to be our $25,000, which is the amount we borrowed from the bank, plus the interest expense from the first 6 months, which we calculated in A from June 30th to December 31st of $1,000, times our interest rate of 8% times our half a year, because in this case we're only going from December 31st to June 30th, 2017. And that will equal an interest expense for the first 6 months of $1,040. For the second 6 months, using the same equation, we're going to have $26,000, which is the amount we borrowed from the bank, plus our original interest expense for the first December 31st, 2017, so $26,000, plus our interest expense from the first 6 months of $1,040, times our 8% interest rate, times 0.5, because we're only going from June 30th, 2018 to December 31st, 2018, and that's going to give us our interest expense for the second 6 months of $1,082. And then the total interest expense for that entire year of December 31st, 2017 to December 31st, 2018 is going to be $2,122. So in your journal, you would be interest expense go up $2,122, and then interest payable, same thing, $2,122. And then Part C for June 30th, 2019 for compound interest. So in this case, basically like rewriting the formula, we're going to be doing interest expense plus the loan that we borrowed from the bank plus our accumulated interest for the 2-year note, like total. So our interest expense for the next 6 months of December 31st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019, using the same type of formula we used in the previous parts of A and B. You just got to continue adding on the accumulated interest and interest expense. You're going to get a new interest expense of $1,125 plus our original loan that we took from the bank, which is $25,000, plus the accumulated interest for the entire 2 years that we've had the loan, and that's going to be $3,122, and that's going to equal, if you add all that up, you get $29,247. So in this case, I messed up right here. In the journal, cash is going to go down $29,427, or messed up again, $247, and interest expense will be $1,125, and accumulated interest will be $3,122, just like the problem before. All right, and then for our last problem here, how much additional interest expense will A have in part 2 than in part 1? So in this case, this is pretty simple. We basically add up all of our interest expenses from both of the two problems and then just find the difference of the two. So for simple interest, we take all of our interest expenses that we found for A, B, and C in question 1. So that would be $1,000 from part A, $2,000 from part B, $1,000 from part C. Added up, your total interest expense for that problem is $4,000. For compound interest, do the same thing. You have $1,000 for A, $2,122 for B, and $1,125 for C. Add that up, $4,247 for compound interest. And then finding the difference in the expenses, we find that compounding interest has an additional interest expense of $247. All right, that is all I have for you guys. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you can. Have a good one.